Mike Bohn joined now by one of the top fighters in the PFL lightweight division, the number one contender now. In fact, Archie Colgan coming off a huge win on Saturday or Friday at PFL 6 2025. Archie, it's a huge win for you, man. Still undefeated. How are we feeling a couple days later?
I feel good, man. I feel great. Yeah, I took, virtually no damage. My face is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I virtually took no damage and put a lot out on him. It was a great fight for me, good performance. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. Did you feel like this one kind of opened up the eyes of the MMA world a little bit more to what you're capable of and how good you are?
Yeah, like I've had really good performances in the past, but I think this one was more like a star-studded performance where, Mansoor is a really, really high level um, fighter and competitor, and he's competed against some of the best guys, and nobody has done what I did to him. And he's fought like, Islam Makhachev and Mateusz Gamrot and Brent Primus, these guys that are, world champion level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got to be super satisfying when you go into a fight like that. Like, obviously, it's kind of a level up fight in terms of everything you just said there. Are
Yeah.
you more nervous than usual? Do you have any self doubts, or did you have full belief you were going to do what you did?
No, yeah, I was the most calm in this fight than
Yeah.
I had been in any fight. Yeah, I was. I think I was like actively working towards that as well. It wasn't like other fights. Maybe I'm trying to like build up some sort of like fight emotion. And this
Mm-hmm.
time I was just like, man, you are your best when you spar and you're just free. So just allow yourself to be free. And man, I was right.
Yeah, no kidding. It was excellent, man. You should be very proud of yourself.
Thank you.
What did they say to you when this fight was put together and like the number one contender stakes attached? Was that something that came later? Was that part of the offer that came with this fight that you knew right off the bat? How did all that work?
Yeah, so it was official. Yes, I mean, Ali had told me, my manager had told me that, this fight is a number one contender fight right off the jump when I signed the contract. That the winner of this will fight Usman. So if he was like, "You go win this fight, you're gonna fight Usman later on this year." I was like, "Great, that's what I want." And then it was kind of posted when we were the main event at the Paris card. They had mentioned it in there, like the winner of this puts themselves in contention to fight for, the belt against Usman. And then when they put it on to the Wichita card, they said the winner of this will be the number one contender and they will fight Usman Nurmagomedov. So that's kind of when it was like officially posted and branded out there as that. But I had known from the jump when I signed the contract that had I won this fight and done a good job doing it, I'm next.
Did that surprise you at all? Just because, like, they have the tournament going on right now, and I know part of this is Gaethje Rabadonov won't fight Usman because they're like
Yeah.
lifelong friends and training partners. But I think it was like maybe a little confusing to the casual fan. We have this tournament going on that's supposed to crown the winner for the next thing.
Yeah.
But given that, is that what made sense to you? Like, Gaethje is favored to win this thing. They need to come up with a different number one contender.
Um, honestly, I don't know all the backing and the logic behind what the reasoning is. Obviously, that's part of it. Them two being training partners, really very close friends, and the brotherhood that they like built, not wanting to fight each other. That's obviously got to play some sort of part of it. But I think if it wasn't me, it'd be somebody else regardless. I don't think it'd have to be the tournament champion right away. Anyways, I
Mm-hmm.
think if it wasn't me, it'd be I guess Paul Hughes. It would be somebody else. There's a reason why Paul Hughes also isn't in this tournament. So they're obviously trying to brand something outside of just the tournament winner fighting the championship series winner. Like the Johnny Eblin's fighting somebody that's
Costello,
not
yeah.
from the tournament. Yeah, Costello, and he's not from the tournament as
Mm-hmm.
well. So they're obviously working something behind scenes that they're trying to brand like maybe the champion series side is being pushed outside, and then after maybe the champion fights somebody there at the end of the year, finally he'll fight the tournament champion. I'm not entirely sure. They haven't broke that like game plan down to me, but regardless, yeah, the fact of Godzi and him being both high level, both in the same promotion, that's got to play some sort of factor. But also, I've done my due diligence to make sure I'm in this position.
Yeah, you absolutely have. I guess what would you say about the Paul Hughes element, right? Like that, they had that first fight, him and Usman. People felt they should have run it back immediately. Then it was like Paul win one fight. Now it's maybe Paul win two fights. And I don't expect you to like take a back seat to anyone or anything like that. You
Yeah.
have your own goals in your own career to look out for. But I guess like he seemed annoyed when they announced this was a title eliminator. Are you surprised they're not doing that rematch now?
No. I mean, look, like I give all my props to him. I mean, he fought a great fight when they fought.
Mm-hmm.
He did a really good job, and he should, for himself, he should be his own advocate, pushing for his fight to get a rematch because he tested the waters and came up short. But that's his problem. That's for him to face. And for me, I have my respect to Paul and what he did, but he came up short, and I put now together 9 wins, 9-0. I'm 12-0 total, but 9 wins under the Bellator now PFL banner towards this goal. So, for anybody to be not understanding of where I'm coming from, I mean, you're just not really that understanding. Like you're just blinded a little bit. So, um, yeah, I think for him to go get a win and then fight Usman, it would make sense in his perspective. But for Usman to go back to back, it kind of doesn't make sense, you
Yep.
know? So he needs a new contender, somebody who poses different threats.
Hello. Here we
I'm
are.
here.
Okay, let's get into that. Any idea at all when this fight could happen?
Not official, but I probably expect something like October, November, very latest December, but probably more like October, November.
Yeah, Dubai probably.
Yeah, probably somewhere in the Middle East. He's a big pool over there, as we know.
Yeah,
Those guys love him out there.
yeah. You're cool with traveling into quote unquote enemy territory.
No, I'm gonna call them and tell him he has to come to Denver, Colorado, and fight me here. Otherwise, it's not happening. Like, I mean, it's yeah, of course. I
Yeah,
have no choice. I'm the B side. He's the champion. He calls his shots. They call the shots. If that's where they want it, all I can be doing is, go chase after my opportunity.
yeah. And what a fight, man! Too like combined 31-0. You would be
Yeah.
going into this like I don't know if PFL's ever put on a fight that looks like this in terms of that type of records and just the high level and everything. When you look at him, I don't know what do you make? Like obviously hasn't been beaten. I think Paul tested him more than ever. Do you see a guy with a lot of flaws you can expose? How do you kind of break this down early on?
I mean, yeah, there's obviously a guy who's going to be who's from a great training camp. He's got great training partners. He's going to be very prepared with a game plan and physically prepared. He's obviously a mountain to climb. He's a good fighter, and he's got my respect, and so does his team. I think that there's attributes that I possess, things that I bring to the table that he has not seen in a fight. Sure, he's seen it in training. He's got some of the best training partners, but in a fight, I think that there's just different things that I bring to the table that nobody else has brought to him. Obviously, offensive wrestling, defensive wrestling, but my inside boxing is there as well, and um, my fight IQ is very very good as well. So I just think I bring different threats that he hasn't had to face under the lights, under the performance, and yeah, I'm excited to get my opportunity to go show that to the world.
Yeah. Do you take like a challenge in the wrestling element in particular, right? The American wrestling versus the Dagestani grappling type thing. Do you care about that stuff or is that all just narratives?
Yeah, well, of course, it is a narrative, but it's only a narrative because it's partially true. Like, yeah, I do take pride in representing USA Wrestling. USA Wrestling has built me to this point. It's done a lot for me in my life and many
Mhm.
other fighters, but in mine, yeah, I would be very proud and happy to carry that torch. Um, to go be the one who shows whose wrestling is better, and he's gonna I have come to terms that he's a very good fighter and he'll probably take me down as well. That's not like I'm saying he will not score and I'm gonna score takedowns. Like
For sure.
I'm gonna score takedowns. I know that. I know I could take anybody down. And I'm very understanding that he's a very high caliber person and I'll probably get taken down as well.
And I know he hasn't been beaten, and we don't want to like lump all these guys into one group, but forever, like none of them had lost. And now we saw Usman get pushed. We saw Usman Nurmagomedov lose. Your very good friend Justin Gaethje was in there with Habib. Like, do you feel like you have good insight on what you're going to expect on fight night?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, he's his own person and he hasn't been beaten. So he carries the confidence that same confidence that I carry, you know, like you don't know how or you don't know what it is going to be, but you believe that when it comes time to fight, you're going to find a way to get the win. And he believes that. And so do I. Many one of us have seen the loss, but there's things to be taken away from those fights. Yeah, those guys getting pushed in certain areas. And I wouldn't say like that style being exposed or anything. It's just like, you know, MMA is a growing sport and it catches up. Not that they're exposed by any means. They're very high level, but you know, people learn and adapt and move on. Not move on, but you know, they catch up too and they adapt to it. So, you know, I think that's a glimpse of kind of what's happening, but just as it's catching and like, you know, building itself, adapting to them, you know, they're probably doing the same, trying to stay a step ahead of it. So, you know, he's going to be prepared in different ways, I assume, and I'm excited to expose that and see what it is to be true.
Yeah, and if you win this fight, get that belt, obviously you'll be talked about amongst the great lightweights in the whole world and everything. Another person that will be in that conversation will be on Saturday when UFC crowns a new champion between Ilia Topuria and Charles Oliveira. Who do you think wins that fight?
That's a tough fight. I feel like Ilia Topuria is probably going to win. I think you know, he's got really good like combination boxing. I don't think he's had to really show it as much, but I think he has good like takedown defense. Um, he has good takedown offense, and he's a submission threat. Like he and I, people like who just tuned in probably don't notice it, but he's like a submission threat too. Um, and he's got heavy hands, and Charles gets hit in those like boxing exchanges. If you like go back and look at Justin's fight with him and Michael Chandler's fights with him, like they land in those when you get in the boxing range, they land shots, and I think Topuria is probably one of those guys you don't want to be landed on much with.
Yeah, definitely. He's got a big power. So then what happens? Does Justin Gaethje fight the winner and both of you guys are champions by the end of 2025? Is this the scenario we're going to see or what?
I love it. Yeah, let's do it. Let's go. Let's go full circle. Yeah. Justin Gaethje fights the winner of that fight, and come December or you know New Year's, we got the both belts. He got the UFC belt. I got the PFL belt.
Yeah, we'd love that. That'd be an amazing sight. I know he's been such a great influence on. He's not gonna walk away if he doesn't get the shot, though, right? I know that's been a thing out there.
I don't think so. I mean, Justin's a dog. I don't think he'd walk away from it. But yeah. I mean, the rumors that you've heard are like real rumors. It's not just some bullshit clickbait. It's
he feels
you
some
know,
type of way.
it's a real discussion. He does feel some type of way. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He definitely feels some type of way. But Justin's a dog, man. I doubt he's actually, you know, gonna walk away from the sport. You know, he's a fighter's fighter and a man's man, so he'll figure it out. But if it is like what you have seen, those are real discussion.
Yeah, that's fair. And would never diss a fighter for advocating for themselves, as we talked about, you know, throughout this interview. You gotta do what you gotta do, and I think he's earned it as well. I mean, we know everything he said about the things he stepped up on are all true, and I think he's got a real shot to get the winner there. It also makes a lot of sense because just the way the division is right now. So we'll see.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, for sure, man. Awesome. Well,
who do you think is gonna win this weekend?
I'm probably going with Topuria, but man, like I have that, you know, when you get those gut feelings, like I can't really explain why this guy's going to win. I kind of feel that with Charles. I feel like he's getting disrespected a lot going into this fight, man. Like everything he's done, all the finishes, all the wins, like you can't think that guy's not going to win any fight. He's capable of beating anyone on the right night.
True. That's true.
And I'm curious to see what those two look like when they're standing next to each other, like how Ilia looks as a lightweight. I feel Charles is going to be maybe much bigger than him in the cage.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, there's a lot of questions to be answered.
Yeah, it's a good time to be a lightweight though, man. You're doing your thing. I'm very happy to see you get your turn. I remember like seeing you very early on doing, I think, an interview with Cade Morehouse with you and Justin, and he kind of introduced you a little bit there too. And you've lived up to it all, man. So keep doing your thing and keep killing it.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate it.
All right, appreciate you, man. Have a great day.
You too.